Thank you, Krista, and good morning from Pocono. Rain showers moved through the area this morning, but they have dried this racetrack, and we will have qualifying for the 5-Hour Energy 500. So we had rain this morning. What's it doing right now? Here are the numbers. 67 degrees. Humidity is up to 82%. And a wind coming out of the east at 7 miles per hour. In case you're wondering, that means it's blowing from turn 1 to turn 3. Good to have you with us for Cup qualifying on speed with Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach. I'm Adam Alexander, and a new qualifying format this weekend. Yes, they're going slowest to fastest, but this weekend it doesn't matter if you're in the top 35 or not. They are lumping them all together in one long rip. Carl Edwards, the last guy out. We could see some drama this afternoon. What does it mean for those guys that go out late in the session, Wally?
Well, I think if you looked at the weather yesterday, it could have been a problem because you want to go early here at Pocono because you're starting early. And the track was going to get hotter and it was going to get slower. But the way the weather is right now, it's going to be consistent for everybody. So I don't think it's going to really matter where you qualify today and where you go out, because the best thing for everybody qualifying is the weather stays the same for everyone, and that looks like it's going to happen.
I know how you drivers are. You always want to start up front in any situation. But, you know, Kyle, in the last 5 Sprint Cup races, the winner has started 20th or worse. So what would that mean here this weekend?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to happen here. I think talking to Kyle yesterday, he talked about how hard it is to pass with these cars. And I think it's so hard aero-wise to get around cars. The deeper you start in a field, the worse it is at a place like this, because these guys that are up front have these long straightaways to kind of get away from you. And we've always seen this in the past at Pocono. They can stretch. The leader and the first 2 or 3 guys can stretch on the field. So if you've got to come from the back to the front, it's going to be tough here.
And to make that point, 8 of the last 11 winners here at Pocono have started on the front 3 rows. We'll see what unfolds as qualifying gets underway. And the first man in line, the slowest in practice number 1 yesterday, Scott Wimmer, driving the 7 car for Robbie Gordon this weekend here at Pocono. And as Scott Wimmer looks to roll off, we hear from another first-timer at Pocono, Ralph Shaheen with Andy Lally.
Well, you know, actually, Adam, he's been here before, but it was in an open-wheel car. He's done quite a few races here, but on the road course. He's never been on the big tricky triangle. So, Andy, how do you approach this car?
This is definitely one of the most tricky places that I've come to this season that I've had to learn. I keep telling my guys this is the trickiest place since Bristol. I've reviewed a lot of in-car footage. I saw a lot of Hamlin stuff here, and you just gotta get through the bumps, but then you gotta get brave when it comes to putting the power down here as early as you can, because these long straightaways pay off. You get the power early.
You know, Wally, when he was talking about getting through the bumps down there in turn 1, he said what he picked up from watching Denny Hamlin's onboard footage was you really kind of want to run the lower half of the second groove and keep those left side tires just on the upper edge of the inner groove.
That's a great place to start, Ralph, but sometimes once you hit those bumps, it throws you up the racetrack, and we'll see that a lot. You get down there, and that's the plan. You want to run as low as you possibly. Well, actually, I saw some guys trying the high line yesterday as well. So they were trying to experiment around the bumps, but that's why they were doing it. They were trying to figure that part of it out.
Yeah, but that's pretty interesting that Andy coming here for the first time would sit and watch another driver on TV and watch the in-car and say, okay, I'm in the wrong place on the racetrack, and try to adjust his line to that.
Scott Wimmer takes the green. His qualifying run is underway. First time he's been here to Pocono since back in 2006. 5 starts at the 2.5-mile racetrack. His best coming back in 2004 when he started in the 11th position. And he does have 1 Cup start this season. He ran this 7 car at Dover.
That was a car that didn't look good over the bumps.
No,
right
it did not look happy with the bumpy racetrack. But, I mean, you could see, you see the front tires as they bounce up in the air, they're turning left and right almost.
We told you today the go or go home cars, those outside the top 35 in owner points, are lumped in with those who are locked into the field. Scott Wimmer in this 7 car will race tomorrow. He is not in the go or go home category, so should he have a bad qualifying run early in the session, he won't have to sweat out the rest of the afternoon. He ran a 56.40 yesterday in practice, and better today. 55.414 seconds for Scott Wimmer on his opening lap.
Yeah, I'm going to bet the track's going to be quite a bit quicker today because of the temperatures than it was yesterday.
Sprint Cup qualifying underway from Pocono. One of 44 cars down. Back with more after a break.
We believe everyone should get low prices every day. Every day.
On everything. On everything. And if you happen to find something lower,
We'll match it. We'll match it.
We'll match it. Any ad, any price.
Right at the register.
Get low prices every day on everything, backed by our ad match guarantee. Like a 6-pack of Johnsonville bratwurst patties, now just $6.98, only at Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
What can you tell me about Shell nitrogen-enriched gasoline?
They clean up gunk left by lower quality gasoline.
Then they act as a protective barrier that shields and protects engines against performance-robbing gunk.
You really are experts.
Talking a big game about your engine is one thing. Having a proven history that can back it up is a whole other story. Unsurpassed torque, best-in-class towing, legendary Cummins engines. Which engine do you want powering your truck? Guts, glory, Ram.
Still at the office? Man, you need a vacay. Don't have to go far for fun. Ride a dune buggy or scuba diving? Pow! I make it easy. You make it fun. So many super destinations, such low rates.
Welcome to an exclusive tour of the 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series. We have big changes to discuss and new faces to meet. But first, we're going to take a look at some of the new cars hustling their way into the series.
Just traded some serious paint with that Mustang.
These are some of the new faces that I mentioned earlier. Of course, their faces aren't always this angry looking.
The 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series. Something new around every turn.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying from Pocono, brought to you by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. We told you off the top of our qualifying show, rain in the Pocono area this morning. Some question marks as to if this qualifying session would happen. One guy that is glad we were able to get the track dry is the man on track right now, TJ Bell. 44 cars here, and if qualifying had been rained out, this is the guy that would have gone home based on the NASCAR rule book.
So we got to get it all in here. Whoa. That's way too high land.
Yeah, he carried some speed off in that corner and a little bit more than he wanted to.
Scott Wimmer ran only one lap, a theme that we likely will see throughout this session unless you're a guy like TJ Bell that misses your marks and you got to dig and try to get in the show by running two.
The problem is, though, these things get hot. I mean, they have so much tape on them. After one lap, the temperature gets hot, and when the temperature gets hot, it kills your horsepower.
Yeah.
So you really have to screw up the first lap to take second one.
Yeah, and I hope we only see one lap. Let me just say from my perspective.
And I'm with you on that.
But you're exactly. But the thing is, you know what you've got to understand is these guys already run a lap before they take the green. Basically, from where they leave, and it's a tough racetrack on tires. And you get the good out of your tires. A lot of guys used to not even get in the gas until they crossed the tunnel turn, and then they would run hard through three, coming to take the green flag.
And quicker today than yesterday is TJ Bell. His lap puts him the quickest of the two that have been out, 54.098 seconds.
That's 2 seconds. 2 seconds quicker than he's ever been around this place.
And he's still going.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's told him yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'll get much.
One career Sprint Cup Series start for TJ Bell. Earlier this season, started 33rd at Darlington, finished 38th, and failed to qualify the last 2 weeks for the Coke 600 at Charlotte, and last week in Kansas for the STP 400.
This lap may be a little bit better.
Yeah, his old car don't look bad, but he missed turn one on that first lap.
Yeah.
Remember how bad he missed turn one?
First lap, 54.98, 0.98.
So he missed turn one a ton.
Here in the second one.
Yeah, he missed turn one a ton to get to that point.
Let's hear from Chris Neville.
Well, Scott Wimmer gets to be the guinea pig going down to turn 1. Heavy rains last night. You ever nervous going into turn 1, 200 miles an hour on a green track?
Yeah, a little bit. I haven't raced here since 2006, so it's been a little bit of adjustment for me. But got to thank Robbie Gordon for giving me this opportunity. Speed Energy Dodge, we've been okay. That was way better than we ran yesterday, so we're making gains. But hopefully I have a good race on Sunday, make some more gains there.
Car looked pretty rough over the bumps. Is there anything more you guys can do?
Yeah, that's something we've been struggling with the whole time up here, but we're working on it. We're getting it better, and we're locked in the show, so we didn't have to worry about qualifying, but we're trying to make it as best as we can.
Good luck.
Scott Wimmer, as we told you, locked in the field. He's currently second behind TJ Bell. TJ, the first of the drivers that will have to qualify on speed today, picking up some 2 seconds off of what he ran yesterday in practice. And now Mike Bliss out in the 32.
You know, TJ's car looked pretty good over the bumps.
It really did.
You heard Wimmer talk about something they'd been working on, but TJ Bell's car looked really, really good through 3.
Mike Bliss takes the green flag, and his qualifying run is underway, and he too finds himself inside the top 35 in owner points, so he is locked in to tomorrow's field regardless of how he qualifies today. Best ever finish at Pocono, 9th in 2005. 4 starts here in Long Pond for Mike Bliss.
Oh,
yeah,
took a double swipe at that thing right there. Yeah, you hear him say he got loose. Yeah. We can see you from the front stretch, and yes, you were loose.
Didn't take a rocket science to figure that one out.
But you know, he picked up a little time across the tunnel, and that's what the tunnel turn is, that little bend in the road. You've got to kind of pitch it through there. So it's got to be a little freer than any other corner. Good lap.
Mike Bliss yesterday went 56.051, and today, top of the board, 53.935 seconds for Mike Bliss. He is quickest of those who have been on track. Qualifying underway from Pocono. You're watching Speed, the Motorsports Authority.
NASCAR on Speed is presented in high definition by Funai. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series all season long, live on Speed.
Who's feeling power hungry? Who's ready to break through more barriers? From brick walls to budgets. Then let's get our hands on some of those tools that only live on orange shelves. Because when we come home with that fistful of doing and keep that pocket full of savings, there's nothing we can't conquer. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Power more projects with this Ryobi Starter Kit or Dremel Multimax, each just $89.
Oh, he looks nice. Yeah.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Comcast Hometown Network is your home for Comcast Newsmakers in Depth, bringing you the news and information you need from the people who make a difference.
Welcome to a special extended version of Comcast.
Local leaders talking local issues.
Partner with the schools.
And now we're starting to come back. We still have some structural issues that we have to address.
To do government a little differently.
Comcast Newsmakers in Depth, Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. on Comcast Hometown Network Channel 104.
Qualifying on Speed, I'm Lindsay Zarniak alongside Larry McReynolds. And Larry, what is your mission if you're a crew chief out there today, besides getting the fastest car, obviously?
Well, I think Wally mentioned it, and knowing how much more grip that this track is going to have. And it's going to be a one-lap deal, even though they have 2 laps. If you're going to sit on the pole, you're going to have to do it on lap 1. And I think it's convincing your driver, and your driver wondering, how deep can I drive this thing in the corner versus yesterday? But I love this whole format because this will truly be the first time that I think we're going to have to wait to the last driver or two to see who actually is going to sit on the pole. I know Carl Edwards will be the last driver to go out. fastest yesterday in that practice session, and I think we'll have to wait to the very last one to see who will sit on this pole.
It keeps all that suspense going. Guys, we just found an interesting statistic also that all but 3 of the last 15 winners here have been under the age of 30. What gives with that?
Well, I think that that you have to man up when you drive down in these corners at 200 miles an hour. And the other thing I heard Kyle and Wally talking about, Lindsay, is the fact if you're fast qualifying, normally that shows that you're going to be fast on race day. Of our 66 races here, 47 of those winners have come from a top 10 starting spot. So I think qualifying is very relative to who will be quick on race day.
Well said, guys.
Tony Raines has just locked himself into the race for tomorrow, the second of the go or go home drivers to go on track. Tony Raines going at 53.765 seconds. He goes straight to the top of the board. Back down to Chris Neville.
Well, TJ Bell picks up 2 seconds from yesterday, and TJ, the car looked pretty good over the bumps. Are you happy?
I'll be happy when we know we beat one car and we're in this race. You know, I can't thank all these guys at LTT Power Sports and GreenSmoke.com for really putting me in this car and getting me to the racetrack. We've been working our tails off to try and make races, and you know, I hope today's our day we get in that race.
All right, man. Good luck.
TJ Bell sitting and waiting. Said he needs to beat one guy, and he would be happy if it's Andy Lally, and then the drama would be over. Andy, the third of those drivers to hit the track today that must qualify in on speed. Heard Ralph Shaheen talk to him earlier. He's never been here on the oval, been here on the road course. Failed to qualify at Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. The only DNQ this team has recorded in 2011. His team 37th in owner points. And when you look at the numbers for Andy yesterday, turned a lap at 55.825 seconds. He's under green. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Down here with Bobby Labonte, who's getting his Hans device on, getting ready to go. You know, Bobby, turn 1 here at Pocono is a gut check on a good day. Now you really got to decide how far you can drive it in there. As a veteran, how far do you go?
Well, I mean, obviously it's going to have more grip right now than it did yesterday afternoon, but you still can't drive. You still can't hold it wide open, so you have to let off. And I'd say probably where you normally let off at. I mean, you know, to a certain extent, you just want to get back to the gas sooner. That'll be what you'll want. I mean, I'm sure you can probably go in there further than you did yesterday in your qualifying run, but not going to be, not like you're going to go another 1,000 feet.
Do you have that spot already picked out, or is it total seat of the pants feel?
It's pretty much seat of the pants feel. By the time you get over there, you'll have an idea what you got.
He's about ready to go. He's got 4 cars in front of him, guys.
No, Andy, lap looks pretty good here.
See what it does on the speed charts. He's in the field, goes straight to the top, 53.138 seconds for Andy Lally. He will make his Pocono debut here tomorrow afternoon. He is the third of the go or go home drivers to qualify. Mike Skinner, Scott Riggs on the way next here on Speed.
24 hours of Le Mans. It's the fastest 24 hours in the world.
Heavy damage. 1, 2, and 3. A whitewash at Lassard.
Continues today, live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Extended coverage on speed.com.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out. Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk.
He's good.
Human.
You could say I'm well connected. Not because I'm a member of the Hollywood elite, but because I have Xfinity. Now I can do more of what I love to do online. Log in, status groovy, finish him! HD me.
Easily surf, download music, and share pictures online. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 6 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Mike Skinner on track, making his qualifying run. Skinner yesterday in practice, 55.78 seconds. He has 4 top 10 finishes in 12 starts here at Pocono, and his qualifying run is underway. He's the 4th of the go or go home cars to make his qualifying effort here this afternoon. TJ Bell currently the slowest. He's 4th on the board, and only 1 car will go home this weekend. Andy Lally and Tony Raines are locked in.
You could just see if you miss it just a little bit, you get up in that gray area and you just watch your time just fall.
And there was some drama with Skinner last week qualifying. He went out and ran, and after his first lap, I mean, he was adamant on the radio that he had made a mistake, and it just got fortunate that somebody else made a bigger mistake and missed it and put him in. But he was in a bad place last week when it came to qualifying.
And you know what Bobby was saying, you kind of go down to turn 1 and you try to, I could never let off the same place in qualifying. You always want to try to get more, and the reason you do is because you come out of turn 3 for the green, and the car's got grip, so you think you can get more out of the car.
Yeah.
And then when you drive it down in there too far, you screw it up. Yeah, he's all over the place.
He's back up the racetrack again. Oh, he's not catching that one. That's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt. Boom.
Yeah.
You could say he did it the first lap, too. Once you get in that, he got away with it the first lap in the gray area.
Because of new tires.
Right. You get in that gray area, you're done.
Yeah, he got up on the first lap, and because of new tires, he could save it. And you know, you talk about that first corner. It's one of those corners that you get up off 3, like you talk about, and you just say, I'm going to get a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and you're in there deeper over your head.
And he knew he had to dig because his opening lap did not get him into the field.
No.
And you can't hide here. You're going to hit something here.
Yeah, and the grass is wet.
That was hard.
And those are new safer barriers there, so let's give Pocono a little bit of credit there, that those are the new safer barriers that they put up since the last time we raced here when Elliott Sadler had his accident.
Mike Skinner, the 1995 inaugural Truck Series champion, having problems in qualifying here at Pocono.
I think Mike, he got up there, and I don't think he wanted to get in the outside wall, and he probably stood on the gas. Is he on the gas here? Yeah, he's on the gas, but unfortunately it drove him down into the inside wall.
And the outside wall would have been the better wall to get into at this point. And it's been raining up here. This grass is wet. I mean, there was once you got there, you were along for the ride. Once that thing got sideways on him, he was just along for the ride. See the splitter come out from under it as it bounces behind him.
So TJ Bell locks into the field, and it's good to see Mike out of the car and okay.
And I know TJ wanted to make the race, and we heard what he said. I just got to beat 1 car. I don't think he wanted to do it this way. But
absolutely not.
Congratulations to those guys for making this race.
So a halt in qualifying at Pocono. The reason, Mike Skinner getting out of shape off of corner number 1. We're back with more after a break.
From groundbreaking motocross technology to a leader in ATV innovation to #1 in MotoGP and #1 in sport ATVs, Yamaha is the first name in motorsports. Be the first to get into your Yamaha dealer for a great deal. Then get out and ride.
Still at the office? Man, you need a vacay. Don't have to go far for fun. Ride a dune buggy or scuba diving? Pow! I make it easy. You make it fun. So many super destinations, such low rates.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Lewis.
Tony.
You need to have a go in my car.
Oh, it's awesome. Be fun to get you in the stock car, too.
I've been dying to die.
Looks awful small from here.
I'll give you a hand. Is this the right way I'm doing it? Okay. You got insurance? I feel like I'm going to get hurt in this thing.
I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'll be in here the rest of the day if you need me, sir.
Find out why more champions put their trust in the synthetic technology of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Many drivers, one oil, Mobil 1.
Check out all the great Father's Day gift ideas at Bass Pro Shops. Like Redhead Interlock Polo shirts for only $9.97. And save $10 on Redhead Finley River sandals. Plus, don't miss Family Summer Camp going on now.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk. He's good.
Find out why the first class rules the summer. X-Men First Class, rated PG-13.
Welcome back to Pocono. Qualifying slowed. Mike Skinner, the 7th car to go out and take time. Getting turned around off of turn 1 and went into the new safer barrier.
Yep, just got a little bit high, got in the gray, stood on the gas. Oh, I forgot about this wall down here. Clobbered that thing.
Wow. Yeah, there's nothing you can do at this point.
Mike Skinner okay, released from the care center. That the good news for Mike. The bad news is he is on the bubble as far as making the field for tomorrow. He did complete one good qualifying lap at 54.578 seconds, but that is 5th in line and 4th of the 4 go or go homers that have been on track. Let's check in with Andy Lally.
Well, Andy Lally, pretty proud of that last lap there. Andy, your first time to Pocono. You got to be happy. About 0.6 of a second quicker than the 37 car.
We're in the field, so that was our first goal here. We had some issues struggling yesterday. I had some issues, just new guy to Pocono. This is quite a different spot, but we're up to speed. We're on the pole right now. I'm sure it's going to be short-lived because a lot of these superstars are going to come out here and throw that time away. But for right now, TRG Motorsports, we're happy to have happy to be on the pole here. Happy to get all the help that we've been getting from the Roush guys and all the hustle that our guys at the shop and everybody been doing here. We got a blank hood here this weekend, and we're trying to fill that up for the rest of the season. So maybe this will be a little shot in the arm for us.
Well, congratulations on getting in the race.
Tomorrow, NASCAR's Ultimate 3-Race Show powers into Pocono. Denny Hamlin joins us live. Plus, we break down the whole Kyle Busch, Richard Childress situation and what led to the blow-up. Don't miss NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. It's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, live on Speed. On track now, Scott Riggs.
Thing took off a little bit right there.
Yeah. He got on the gas pretty early. I mean, It looked like he got in the throttle right, but he had to wait on it a little bit.
Yeah, he went back to it. You could almost hear him go back to the gas really hard, but then he had to come out and go again.
10 trips to Pocono for Riggs, his best qualifying effort. Inside of row 3 back in 2005 and finished 8th here 5 years ago. Riggs trying to beat Mike Skinner and make his way into the field. Skinner's best lap, 54.578 seconds. The white flag for Riggs puts him in the show, 53.807 seconds.
You're good. Shut her down, bud. Shut her down.
And now we hear from Mike Skinner. Matt?
Adam, the car's being unloaded on the rollback, so you're okay. So what happened on the Skinner scale, how does that rank?
It was a pretty hard hit, but, I got all out of the car the first lap that the car would give me, and I was out of control then. And Tommy told me to keep going, and so I tried to get more, and more wasn't there. And this is what happens when you try to get more out of a race car than the race car's willing to give you that day. I hate it for Big Red and Germain Racing. We're kind of out of cars, struggling, having to bring a car here that I don't really think was the right car, but it's all we had. So we're doing the best we can, and I just hate it. I hate it for them.
Sometimes you just get behind. This is the end result. We'll see them next week.
And that's a really good point. As a driver, you're in a tough situation because your first lap wasn't good, and the car's junk, and you're not in the show, and all right, I got to find that time. You can't carry one of these race cars on your back. They're either right and you can drive them, or you can't. And when you try to get that little bit more out of them, that's usually the result.
Yeah, and we saw, just like Mike said, I tried to get more out, and I was already out of control on the first lap. He was in exactly the same place on the second lap as he was on the first lap. He had driven it as hard as he could both laps.
But maybe a little bit faster and a little bit further up the racetrack.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Landon Castle's made every race this season with the exception of the season opener at Daytona. His best finish coming at California, where he came home 24th. And this is the James Finch car, no longer the 09, switched to the 51 last week, and so far so good.
And that was Finch's original number when he first started coming around, or one of his original numbers when he first started coming around. He run the 51, so it's cool to see him go back to that. I like that. I don't know. That's just who I remember James Finch was with that car.
Landon Castle's second quick on his opening lap, 53.158 seconds. And he is locked into the field for tomorrow. He did not have to qualify in on time. 8 drivers have taken speed. More qualifying for Pocono coming up.
Venus Razor, CoverGirl makeup, Olay anti-aging cream, and rubber spatulas.
What's that for?
It helps me look younger.
Does it work?
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa's gonna be so happy when he wakes up. Yeah, he's gonna look like a baby.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything to keep you looking young. Backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Lewis.
Tony. You need to have a go in my car.
Oh, it's awesome. Be fun to get you in the stock car, too.
I've been dying to that.
Looks awful small from here.
I'll give you a hand. Is this the right way I'm doing it? Okay. You got insurance? I feel like I'm going to get hurt in this thing.
I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'll be in here the rest of the day if you need me, sir.
Find out why more champions put their trust in the synthetic technology of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Many drivers, one oil, Mobil 1.
If you're looking for a pickup truck, check out the miles per gallon, the length of the powertrain warranty, and the horsepower. Only Ram delivers this kind of muscle. That'll thin out the herd real quick. Guts, glory, Ram.
Witnessing the sheer spectacle of NASCAR inspired Neil and his friends to share their passion for speed and power. One customized ringtone at a time. Now each call reminds them that if everything was more like NASCAR, everything would be more awesome.
Casey Mears on track, the 9th driver to go out in qualifying for tomorrow's 5-hour Energy 500 here at Pocono. Andy Lally continues atop the board. Landon Castle second. Tony Raines is third.
I'll tell you what, he cut that car down pretty hard getting into one. I mean, he got in there and all of a sudden he yanked more steering wheel and the thing got a hold of the racetrack.
He was really good on the tracker and then slid back as he came across the tunnel turn. Casey finished 4th here at Pocono back in June of 2007. Got his first DNF of the year last week at Kansas.
He's one of the first, I don't know if I've been missing the shifting, but that's the first one I've heard shift.
I hadn't really, I'm just not paying any attention, but I'm going to say something. You know, we've had 9 cars go. That's Mears run 53.36 right there on his first lap. I'm more impressed every time somebody goes with Andy Lally's lap. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
For those guys to come. He talked about watching other drivers on the racetrack, watching them on TV, and then he busts off that lap. You think, okay, he's in order with everybody else. He just got faster and faster, but he's beat some guys that were faster than he was yesterday.
Ralph?
Down here with Clint Boyer, and you're trying to decide whether to shift or not shift. That's the call, huh?
Yeah, you know, I've just been listening to everybody, and it's picked up so much. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary. I think I'm not going to shift coming to the green. We'll see where it goes from there. If that felt good, I don't think I'm going to shift. But I think there's a ton of grip in the track right now. Obviously, very, very fast speeds, and they're only going to get faster as you move on down the line. But our Cheerios Hamburger Helper Chevrolet was not exactly where we needed it the first practice, which is where this qualifying session's off of. But we got a lot better in the second practice. So I'm really thankful that we're getting this qualifying session in, because I think we can better our position for sure.
And Chris, don't forget, Clint Boyer started second for this race just a year ago.
Yeah, Ralph, and the month of May was tough for Scott Riggs. You guys only made the Kansas race last weekend, but you're in the show tomorrow. Did you get everything out of the car today?
Oh, absolutely not. You know, when Skinner took that ride there right before me going out, I knew there was a ton of grip on the racetrack because it's so much cooler. Just didn't get it all, you know, all out of the car. I tried to not overdrive the car because if I overdrove it and got it out of the groove, you know, we would really pay the big penalties going down these straightaways. So I left a lot on the table. So you're going to see some really fast times. I appreciate everybody at Whitney Motorsports for giving me the opportunity, but it's a hard battle what we're trying to do here.
I think we're going to see some great times today. It sounds like we've got a lot of grip on the racetrack.
Yeah, I like to go with Clint on that one. I don't think downshifting is going to be faster when you've got really good tires. I think downshifting obviously helps when you're in a race, but if you've got the grip in the racetrack, you should be able to get out. And the real important part here is, I think, is right in here, because your RPMs come down quite a bit here. If you can get back on the gas and not lose a ton of RPMs, you're going to be pretty good there.
Yeah. Bobby's car looked good. He got down low from the middle down. And his car looked pretty good through there.
36 starts for Bobby Labonte here at Pocono. The highlights on his resume: 3 victories. He swept here in 1999, also won in 2001. Started on row 2 on 3 different occasions. He's the 10th car to go out in qualifying.
Well, he got through 3 really good.
And Bobby goes straight to the top of the board, 53.064 seconds. He is your provisional pole sitter right now. Now we're going to get into an interesting time. 3 of the next 4 cars that will go on track in the go or go home category.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series comes to Infineon Raceway in Sonoma. The Toyota Save Mart 350, June 24th through 26th. The Toyota Save Mart 350, part of the Big O Tires racing season. Tickets at InfineonRaceway.com. Think outside the oval.
Who's feeling power hungry? Who's ready to break through more barriers? From brick walls to budgets. Then let's get our hands on some of those tools that only live on orange shelves. Because when we come home with that fistful of doing and keep that pocket full of savings, there's nothing we can't conquer. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Power more projects with this Ryobi starter kit or Dremel Multimax, each just $89.
Dull yellow headlight.
So my uncle calls and he says he's dizzy and he's losing his balance. I'm like, Unc, you want me to take you to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm gonna look up the symptoms. I said, your symptoms are you're dizzy and you're losing your balance. So he said, I can't get on the internet because my arm is numb. I said, well, use your good arm and dial 911. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love is showing symptoms of stroke, don't wait because it might be too late. Dial 911. Time lost is brain lost.
Are you tired of always seeing negative images on TV? Do you want something more from your news station? There are some really great stories out there that traditional stations aren't telling. That's not us. We focus on the upside and bring you all the positive news you can use.
That's Upside, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 6:30 and 10 on your hometown network, Channel 104. And don't forget to check us out online. Head to YouTube or Facebook.com/Upside News and join in the conversation.
Here on Speed, I'm Lindsay Zarniak with Larry McReynolds. Larry, we just heard Clint Boyer talking about what he thinks about the shifting and how he looks to apply that in this race tomorrow. Why are they doing it in the first place?
Well, this is the only oval that you would really shift at, Lindsay, and it's because we have 3 straightaways and they are all different length. And what you want to do, you want to maximize your RPM on each straightaway because that's where you're going to make maximum horsepower from the engine. And especially when you look at our short chute between turn 2 and turn 3, you don't carry a lot of RPM there when you're in high gear. I think in the race tomorrow, with the gearing they have, that they will be shifting because the pace comes way down. But I think the debate, as much grip as this track has, that you're getting off the corners much faster than you would in a race, carrying a lot more speed at the end of the straightaway. I think the debate would be, I maybe can run faster if I just don't shift. They've always been shifting here, but NASCAR made some rule changes a few years ago. They kind of hurt them on shifting. They gave them a much closer third gear this time, where the RPM drop is not so great. That's the reason they're having the debate about shifting.
So it will look a little bit different tomorrow.
Yeah, I think tomorrow when that pace slows down, it's almost going to be like a passing gear. Okay. You really can grab third gear and get off the slower corners, especially turn 3.
You got all that, guys?
Yes, and I think what happens when the track gets slippery and your tires go off, you go down on turn 1. Actually, when you downshift, it helps the drivability of the car. You can drive the car because the car's not lugging. Usually, if you're in that situation, you get on the gas, the tires don't work, so it'll push up to the wall. But when you downshift, it actually, and I may be totally wrong on that, but it just feels like it gives you grip, and you can drive the car with the throttle because you're up on the R's.
It gets it to a speed where you feel like you've got grip.
Right.
Joe Nemechek locked in. 4th is where he sits right now on the board. Let's hear from Chris Neville.
Well, Casey Mears has put it on pole here before, and good run today. Casey, with the 3 distinctly different corners at this racetrack, how hard is it to figure out how hard to drive the car in?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just overnight. You know, the weather's changed so much. The track, you know, the track's going to have a ton more grip. It's just a matter of estimating exactly how much grip the track's going to have, because it's so easy to overdrive these cars. If you drive it in just a little too hard, you'll completely kill the lap, but you know you got to go in quite a bit harder than you did yesterday. So our guy Kotoda was really good. I think I underdrove turn 1 and 3 a little bit. Got pretty tight in the tunnel, so not real happy with the lap, but it was a good pickup, obviously, with the grip level, but I do feel good about how our car's going to be for the race come Sunday.
Nice run, Casey. Ralph?
Down here with Martin Truex getting ready to go. Almost feels like we're getting a little bit of moisture in the air, Martin. And as you and I look down towards turn 1, it's way darker and almost foggier down there than it is at turn 3. What's your take on the weather?
I feel like we're in an airplane. There's clouds like on the racetrack. So it looks like the clouds are coming in. They're a lot lower than they were a little while ago, but makes for a lot of grip. So we're excited to get out there and see what our cars got. We were off a little yesterday, and it'd be nice to go out there. We made some changes last night. It'd be nice to go out there and get a lap at least, so we know if it's better for tomorrow. So it's fast right now, so you have to go out there and go.
You know, we've been having a lot of conversation about the shifting. What's your take on it right now? You gunner or you not gunner?
I'm kind of up in the air on that too. It's like it's so much faster than yesterday. It's hard to really know if it's going to, make you go faster. Because your waste time downshifting, it's going to change the balance of your car when you downshift. So I think I'm going to feel it out coming to the green and make my decision based on how it feels there.
Dave Blaney on the clock in the Golden Corral Chevrolet.
And that was interesting, and that ties back, what he just said ties back to what you were talking earlier. When the speeds are up, downshifting sometimes upsets the balance of the car and makes it worse. When the speeds are down, like Wally was talking about in the race, you just feel more comfortable and the car feels more balanced, so you make better time. Yeah.
The lap complete for Dave Blaney. He was already locked in the field by virtue of being in the top 35 in owner points. 8th is where he slots in. Coming up next, a couple of guys that must work their way in. J.J. Yaley and Sam Hornish Jr. on track next.
As a fan of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, I want to get as close to the action as I can get. One way to do that is to use the NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile app for my HTC Evo 4G. Another way is to hide in the back of Carl Edwards' car. Yeah, Carl! Whoa, we're getting ramped!
Fuel your fan with NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile on the HTC Evo 4G. Only from Sprint, the Now Network.
This is not as safe as I initially planned.
Kingdoms and queens, they all bow down to you. Ranches and ranch hands bowing too. And I'm taking on my
We could have gone a more traditional route, but it wouldn't have been nearly as memorable.
Here comes the sun again.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out. The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk.
Kawasaki's good.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
With DirecTV, you can start watching in one room, pause, and continue watching in any other room. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Well, it's a glorious day. I don't know about all you, but I've been waiting a long time for this day to happen. And it's finally here. Kawasaki's Good Time Sales Event! Kawasaki! You can win a Kawasaki at every participating dealership. A Ninja 250R, Buy You 250, and thousands of other prizes.
And on that note, I love ya.
You are cordially invited to Kawasaki's Good Time Sales Event. Get your ticket at kawasaki.com/win.
Baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, and you can see it only on Fox.
JJ just hung a good lap out there. Second quick, 53.115.
JJ, one of the guys that had to deliver. He was in the go or go home category. The 7th of 9 drivers that trying to qualify in on speed today. One of them will go home, and JJ, as Wally pointed out, locks into the field going second. Mike Skinner remains on the bubble. Ralph?
Well, Jimmy McMurray's getting ready to go down here in his number 1, and you've been number 1 here before. You're a former pole winner here at this track. So what kind of knowledge will you take from that to figure out whether or not you're going to shift here today?
Yeah, the shifting is really the unknown for me right now because the track is about 2 seconds faster than it was yesterday. And when I tried not to shift yesterday, I felt like I really struggled. And it wasn't so much with the RPMs and the acceleration as much as it really changes the balance of your car. Not so much in turn 1, but more through the tunnel in turn 3. So I don't know, you only get 1 lap. So hopefully we'll make the right decisions with our McDonald's Chevy and have a shot at it again.
A lot of ones in there, Adam. Car number 1, 1 lap. He's going for pole. That would be number 1 too.
And I'm sure he would take it. And speaking of number 1s, first start of the year for this guy, Sam Hornish Jr. in the 38 for Front Row Motorsports. Filling in for Travis Quapple, who was competing last night in the Camping World Truck Series in Texas. Hornish has had good success here at Pocono. One of his top 5 finishes coming at this track. Of course, he's a 3-time IndyCar champion and won the Indy 500 back in 2006.
Yeah, good opportunity for Sam. I mean, obviously better being in a car and sitting home watching. And you know, I mean, everybody's just got to get back to the start-finish line, and they're going to be in the race from this point on. I mean, as long as somebody doesn't wad one up, everybody's in the show. So.
And Hornish delivers.
Yeah.
53.167 seconds. That puts him 5th. And only 1 more go-or-go-homer remains. And that would be Michael McDowell, who was the fastest of that group yesterday in the opening practice session. Sam Hornish Jr. running a limited nationwide series schedule this year, but as we told you, making his Cup debut here tomorrow in the 5-hour Energy 500.
This year.
Yeah. It was funny listening to Jamie. And Jamie's the second guy we've heard talk about shifting and balance. Shifting and balance. So let me ask you this question. Tomorrow, and this could be a Larry question that he can answer tomorrow for us. If I'm a crew chief and we're having a meeting and I'm telling you I'm the driver, I'm going to shift all day long.
I'm the crew chief right now?
You're the crew chief right now. I'm the driver and I'm going to shift all day long. And then I get out there and the balance is so bad I just leave it in gear. then we're not communicating.
No, you're an idiot.
Yeah,
that's what you are.
No, exactly. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've got to feel comfortable in the car to run fast. And if I'm not comfortable in the car running fast because it's unbalancing the car, and I go back to what makes the car comfortable, whether that's a line on a racetrack or the non-shifting.
Yeah, but I think all these guys were shifting yesterday. I think this is just a qualifying deal that, all right, maybe I shouldn't do it.
No, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. But still, if you get into that and the guy's not
my two drivers up there. Let me throw one other element into it.
Yeah.
Let me throw one more element that doesn't exist today that will exist tomorrow. If you're shifting and you're not any better than you were when you're not shifting, I don't want you shifting because we probably can go about 2 laps further on fuel if you're not shifting. So if shifting's not going to do a whole lot for performance, like I told Lindsay a while ago, I think shifting, honestly, is like a passing gear. If you need to get by someone, get that thing in 3rd gear, beat them up off the corner, and then get it in high gear because we're gonna use a lot less fuel when we're in high gear.
Yeah, we're going to have a problem tomorrow then, Larry. Because the downshift is going to make the car feel better for me. And I think during the race, downshift is going to help the balance of the car. So I know you're sitting in the pit box and I'm out there doing all the work, but I think I'm going to want to downshift.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Lee. What about when I shift halftime and run in high gear halftime? Now how you going to figure fuel for me?
How about Clint Boyer? Let me answer the question by saying the provisional pole sitter is Boyer, who turned lapped at 52.90.
If you're fanatical, fixated, devoted, just plain addicted to cars.
You live it, you sleep it, you dream about it.
Then you're
totally, certifiably car crazy.
Car Crazy. Sunday at 10:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
Tell me about Castrol GTX with Dry Shield.
Helps stop particles from building up as deposits.
How?
Well, first it attracts particles.
Like a mermaid song to a lonely sailor?
Right, then it captures them.
Like a Venus flytrap.
Like a black hole.
Like a black hole in a Venus flytrap.
Then it disperses them like a T-shirt cannon.
Like a snowblower.
Like polyisobutamides. Okay, like a snowblower.
Sounds powerful.
Stop small particles
from becoming big problems.
Do you always?
Yes.
Right.
Help stop deposits before they start with Castrol GTX. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
People everywhere are taking a stand and booking on choicehotels.com.
Booking a room online should be easy as pie.
As long as I save 20%.
When I save 20% on my hotel, I do my happy dance.
I have the right to a guarantee that my rate is the lowest on the web. Do I ask for too much?
Nope. It's your voice, it's yourchoicehotels.com. Get the best internet rate guaranteed on over 6,000 hotels and save up to 20% every day. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
What can you tell me about Shell nitrogen-enriched gasoline?
They clean up gunk left by lower quality gasoline.
Then they act as a protective barrier that shields and protects engines against performance-robbing gunk.
You really are experts.
Find out why the first class rules the summer. X-Men First Class, rated PG-13.
This is more than a ticket. It's a wallet-sized definition of who you are and where you belong, providing both a place to sit and countless chances to stand up for what you believe in. It's a rite of passage, a declaration of independence, and an invitation to discover 43 new heroes and 100,000 new friends. This is more than a ticket, because it says as much about you as any piece of paper can. Reserve yours today at NASCAR.com/tickets.
Speed Inside Deals is offering an unbelievable Pocono Raceway ticket package for tomorrow's NASCAR Sprint Cup race. Head over to speed.com/deals for more details on the Pocono Raceway ticket package and check out all the additional Speed Inside Deals. A few moments ago, we had Sam Hornish Jr. on track qualifying for his first race in the Sprint Cup Series in 2011. Here's the team car, David Gilliland. This machine locked in to the race by way of being in the top 35 in owner points. Best qualifying effort at Pocono, third. It's where he started back in 2008.
I normally didn't talk.
I don't, and you know, I think about that a lot of times when I watch qualifying now, and you watch on Speed. These guys are like, they talk during their qualifying lap. They're giving information back to their guys. And I don't ever remember qualifying. I just remember holding my breath. You know what I mean? I mean, you
Yeah,
went
I
out.
know.
And
You're
you
busy
were so,
there.
You were so focused on what you were doing that the comments just didn't come to you.
David goes 8th, 53.217. Chris?
Well, J.J. Yaley's still sitting 3rd in qualifying. And, J.J., one thing I'm hearing is a lot of drivers still talking about this shifting. Some saying they're not doing it in qualifying. Some say they are. Did you shift out there?
Oh, yeah, I had to shift. You know, we're a little bit down on power, so we need to get all the advantage that we can. But I kept it to a minimum. I shifted coming to the green and only downshifted in turn 1 to get those revs up real high. But, you know, the guys did a great job. The racetrack has a ton of grip right now. So, you know, our Redline Oil Chevrolet has been pretty good. We also have that new sponsor, Need Cash Now. It's not on the car, but you can send it to us. We'll take it. But real happy with the run. You know, we've got to be conservative in everything we do here. But most importantly, we're the fastest go homers. It looks like we're locked in the field. And we'll say hi to my little girl home who graduated from kindergarten on Thursday.
Well, like you said, they've got to be conservative. They've only got 1 engine and 1 transmission.
So that Need Cash Now, not with a question mark, but an exclamation point, right?
With urgency. With urgency.
Regan Smith out as our 17th qualifier this afternoon. Started 4th here at Pocono back in June of 2008. Of course, when you talk about Regan in 2011, it's hard to not go back to what happened in the middle part of May and that incredible first career victory at Darlington.
199. I think that's the fastest I've seen so far going down into turn 1.
And his car looked really good through 1. When he got back to the gas, it was just smooth over the bumps, not a lot of rigidness to it.
And look at the needle all the way to the left. He is getting it.
And we talked about Regan the whole first part of this of the year here. He had the first 10 or 12 races had some incredible qualifying efforts.
He was the best.
Yeah, just the guy. And then all of a sudden you break through and you win a race. And you know that, Wally. Yeah. When you start running up front and starting races and racing with those guys, eventually you get them.
Good lap right now. The car looks great.
Boyer currently on the provisional pole until now. Regan Smith to the top of the board. How about 52.581 seconds for the Furniture Row Chevrolet?
By a lot. That's 3/10.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
Now we hear from second place at this stage. Clint Boyer with Chris.
Well, he just got bumped by Regan Smith there. You kind of shook your head. Theme today is who shifted in qualifying, who isn't. Did you grab 3rd gear out there? Or did you just stay in 4th the whole time?
Yeah, that wasn't really bumped. That was butt kicking. I knew it was out there. I've been struggling for speed, you know, since we got here. But we got really good in race trim in second practice. Hopefully we can surely better where we were going to start anyway. But I'm looking forward to the race. I really am. The track is super fast. Like I said, I knew it was out there. I would say there's more than that out there. You know, the good cars are going to the back. I don't know how that works.
Last year you had a really quick car in the race. What are you guys missing this year?
Oh, we've been, we've been good. We're just missing speed. You know, the difference is from last year to this year is where we're at on the board. You know, I think we honed in on a good package for the race yesterday in second practice. We just showed up with the same thing that we had last year, and it's obviously the boys have picked up since then.
Thanks, Clint.
And now the last of the cars that must qualify in on time. Michael McDowell, who was the fastest of the go-or-go-homers in the opening practice session yesterday. The 9th of those cars to go out in qualifying today. He just needs to beat Mike Skinner, who put up a lap earlier in the session of 54.578 seconds. That prior to crashing his car on his second qualifying lap.
And I think Michael knows that. I think he's in that mindset. Even though he was the fastest go-or-go-homer yesterday in practice, he knows at this point in time all he's got to do is get back to the white line. And these guys are in the race. They make a little money. They can figure out what they're going to do and then go to the next race.
11 starts in 2011. In fact, the only places McDowell did not qualify the restrictor plate tracks, Daytona and Talladega. And he will race tomorrow. Michael McDowell, 11th on the board, 53.502 seconds. Mike Skinner will not race tomorrow afternoon in the 5-hour Energy 500 here at Pocono.
24 hours of Le Mans. It's the fastest 24 hours in the world.
Damage! 1, 2, and 3. A whitewash at LaSalle.
Continues today, live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Extended coverage on speed.com.
We believe everyone should get low prices every day. Every day.
On everything. On everything. And if you happen to find something lower,
we'll match it. We'll match it.
We'll match it. Any ad, any price?
Right at the register.
Get low prices every day on everything, backed by our ad match guarantee. Like a 6-pack of Johnsonville bratwurst patties, now just $6.98, only at Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Dull yellow headlight.
Folks, why won't we go to the doctor? My uncle called, speech all slurred, complaining his arms numb. He called everyone. He even called my daughter Tiara, because, you know, she's got a year of nursing. Everyone thinks he needs to go to the doctor, including me. So he said, well, will you take me? I'm like, I'm on the road. He goes, I'll wait. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love have symptoms of stroke, don't wait. It may be too late. Dial 911. Time loss is brain loss.
A's fans are pumped up for Authentic Fan Friday.
Best deal in baseball, absolutely.
I think it's a really good deal. We got tickets for really cheap.
Some nice hospitality from the Comcast people. I want to come every Friday now, and I'm not, like, being sarcastic.
Yeah?
I'm an Authentic fan. It's not because I'm holding the sign.
It's a great view.
Every Friday A's home game. For just $12, you get a ticket in our value deck section, an exclusive giveaway, a $6 food and drink voucher, plus a chance to be on TV.
Awesome.
For tickets, log on to csncalifornia.com.
NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Pocono, brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. Our 19th qualifier this afternoon at Pocono, Martin Truex Jr. Busy weekend for him on a couple of fronts. Busy week, I should say. Spent a couple of days traveling around the country, visiting Napa stores. He was in Phoenix, Arizona, spent some time in Minnesota on Thursday before arriving here at Pocono. And he has a new crew chief. Pat Tryson has been reassigned at Michael Waltrip Racing. Engineer Chad Johnston, the new man atop the pit box for the 56 bunch.
I could be wrong, but I could have sworn he shifted.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. It sounds from listening to it.
Yep.
Yeah, right there. Did you hear it? It's like, he just catches it. You know, and downshifting and shifting at this place because of the gear ratios are different than what would be at road course. You have to shift in a different place. You don't use the RPMs of the engine to slow the car down. You just have to shift to pick the RPMs back up in the right place.
Now you're thinking, I wonder if I should have shifted.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if I shouldn't have not. You know, exactly. After you're done with the lap, it's like, okay, I wonder if I made a mistake.
What's up, Chris?
Well, Regan Smith has qualified well all season long. And Regan, one thing I'm hearing from all the drivers down here is there's lots of grip, and they all feel like they left a little on the table. Did you get it all?
I felt like I got it all based on where we practiced. There might be more out there. I don't think that's a pole run by any means, but it was a big gain from our practice mock-up run yesterday. I really wanted to get qualifying because I didn't want to start 28th, and the Furniture Row Chevy and race trim is really good. So, hopefully we'll get a little better pit stall selection and all that stuff and see where it ends up.
Nice run. Ralph?
Chris, thanks. Kevin Harvick is just sliding inside his number 29. Kevin, we've spent a lot of time talking about guys trying to gain time going into turn one, but there's two other corners here as well. Can you pick up a bunch of time there?
Well, you just can't try to pick it all up in one corner, and with these cars, usually getting in the corner is the worst place to try. So you try to get it through the center and the exit of the corner, but we'll see. We're going to try to spread it out through the three corners in our Akuma Chevy this week and see what happens.
Got to think big picture at this big track, Adam.
David Rudiman next up, Ralph. He got much better in the final practice session yesterday. Was not great in practice number one.
Yeah, that's watching the tracker. He got off 3 to come to the green. And, this is a momentum racetrack. Even though we look at these guys from first to what, 10th on the board right now, it's what, 6 or 7 tenths. If you lose a little bit, it takes these long straightaways to catch it back up. And so bringing the heat to the green basically helps you at least get that momentum. But when you kill it in turn one, my God, it's a bad lap.
Well, that's the thing. You look at the top speed going into one. I mean, the guys that are carrying almost to 200 miles per hour at the green flag have gotten through 3 really well, coming to start their lap.
Good lap for David Rudiman. He's second behind Regan Smith, 52.833 seconds, but that's 0.3 of a second behind what Regan ran in his qualifying lap. And to put some perspective on what Regan Smith was able to do, his lap here in qualifying, 0.1 of a second quicker than Carl Edwards' fast lap in practice yesterday. Casey Kane qualifying coming up.
For 125 years, Sunoco's been fueling victories on and off the track, which is why each year we bring you the Free Fuel 5000, giving away thousands of gift cards and giving one lucky driver 5,000 gallons of free fuel. Just get a Sunoco decal, get spotted with it, and you win. Why are we giving away so much?
Because winning is the greatest feeling in the world.
Right now, get a free soft drink when you buy a Whopper. Only at Burger King.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Is the pen mightier than the sword?
No.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Talking a big game about your engine is one thing. Having a proven history that can back it up is a whole other story. Unsurpassed torque, best-in-class towing, legendary Cummins engines. Which engine do you want powering your truck? Guts, glory, Ram.
Qualifying run underway for Jamie McMurray. He's the 21st car to take speed here at Pocono today. Mentioned earlier, he's got a pole under his belt at this track. Came back in 2005. That to go along with a pair of top 10 finishes. Not bad when you look at the tracker, although he backslides just a bit coming off of turn 2. This is a team that needs a good run and needs a little bit of luck as well. It has been a struggle in 2011 for McMurray and that McDonald's Chevrolet. 10 times he's finished outside the top 20 this season, and he's 4th in qualifying, 52.97 seconds. So the idea is to put the fast guys from practice at the end of the qualifying session, and that way you continue to see more and more opportunities for guys to go out front in qualifying, and we've kind of seen that. Boyer, Rudeman, and Smith all have been good here as of late, but McMurray not able to go to the top of the board and pick up as much speed as some of those other guys, and it'll be interesting when you get down to the Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson part of the qualifying session to see how much those guys do pick up.
Yeah, and the one thing you got to remember is the qualifying order is set off the first. It's set after the first practice session. These guys had another practice session. So some of these guys that are fast, that were slow yesterday, they learned something in that second practice session. They went back to school. They figured out some stuff. So it's going to rearrange. And I think NASCAR adding the go-go homers into the mix creates that drama all the way through qualifying, where before we didn't have that.
Marcus Ambrose goes under the green flag. He'll make his 5th start in Sprint Cup competition here at Pocono tomorrow. Got off to a great start in 2009, ran 6th here in his debut at the track. Since that time, nothing to write home about. 34th, 30th, and 39th.
and that's really kind of amazing because in the past, historically, when you looked at guys that came from a road racing background, they kind of adapted to this place a lot faster than they did even the ovals because it is 3 distinct corners. So they had almost an advantage sometimes when you saw these guys come in because they understood the tunnel turn better than the Cup guys did or than the oval track racers did.
Yeah, well, the Checker looked really good right here.
He's really good over the tunnel turn. We'll see how it pays off up to second. Very good lap for Marcus Ambrose. 52.682 seconds for the Australian. We take a break and have much more qualifying from Pocono on the other side.
Barrett Jackson Haggerty Fantasy Bid returns to Speed. Watch the auction live from Orange County and bid for your chance to win cool prizes. Barrett Jackson Haggerty Fantasy Bid. The bidding begins June 24th on Speed.
Did you know you should review your insurance every year or two? There are big differences between specialists and non-specialists when it comes to RV coverage. For example, the Good Sam Vehicle Insurance Plan offers $3,000 for personal belongings, optional full replacement cost coverage, and more. RV customers who switch save an average of $349 a year. Auto customers save an average of $442 a year. This means better coverage at a lower price. Call 1-866-SAVE-A-LOT. Speak to one of our insurance specialists.
To see why millions of people trust Good Sam's Vehicle Insurance Plan.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk.
He's good.
Juicy Johnsonville sausage, made with only premium cuts of pork since 1945. Johnsonville, sausage is all we do.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 110 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 600% increase in the last 20 years. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Are you tired of always seeing negative images on TV? Do you want something more from your news station? There are some really great stories out there that traditional stations aren't telling. That's not us. We focus on the upside and bring you all the positive news you can use.
That's Upside every Tuesday and Thursday night at 6:30 and 10 on your hometown network, Channel 104. And don't forget to check us out online. Head to YouTube or Facebook.com/Upside News and join in the conversation.
Regan Smith at the top of the board. Marcus Ambrose just joined him at the front. He is second. David Rudiman is third. Let's hear from him with Chris Neville.
Well, David Rudiman happy with that third place right now. David, you were telling me that you shifted down in 1 and 3. If there's going to be that much shifting tomorrow, are you concerned at all about the engine and transmission?
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned, and I think everybody that works on the Airstream machine is concerned as well. But the main deal is just, on the downshift, you don't downshift too early to let the motors try and slow the car down because the rev chip can't control a rev like that. On the acceleration side, the rev chip can catch you if you screw up. On the decel side, you can over rev the motor real quick and just tear something up. So we had some brake issues yesterday, lost a lot of practice, so I'm encouraged by that qualifying effort, and hopefully we can make it good for the race.
Nice run.
Brian Vickers pacing outside the top 10 in his lap.
Basically what he's saying is you downshift right before you get on the gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of, where it used to be you downshift as you were getting into the corner. So you would brake and downshift to help slow the car down. Now they're slowing the car down, then they're downshifting before they go.
Exactly. They're downshifting in the middle of the corner right before they get back to the gas, not to use it in. That's interesting.
Brian Vickers, 8th in his qualifying run, 53.116 seconds. And now we hear from his teammate with Ralph Shaheen.
Hey, Adam, here's a little trick of the trade. This is some leftover baby powder that Casey Kane just put on the bottom side of his foot that's going to go on top of the gas pedal, and he's all strapped in the car ready to go. All right, Casey, you've won the pole here twice this year. Is the car improved, do you think, enough from yesterday to get pole number 3?
Well, we'll see. We didn't make a run early enough in practice yesterday, so we weren't real fast. But I think This Red Bull Toyota got better as practice went on, and I think there's a ton of grip out there right now, so hopefully we can put a good lap down and have a great spot for tomorrow.
A lot of guys keeping an eye on the sky too, guys, not because they're looking for rain, because the sun is really trying to push through just over here by the entrance to turn 1. It's in and out of the clouds a little bit.
Well, and that would change things for these guys as they go on track. The last thing you want is a slick racetrack.
Just look at the baby powder trick. remember that putting oil on the rotors trick?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was really good.
That was a good trick on us.
Kevin Harvick has taken the green flag and his qualifying run is underway. You see Okuma on the hood of the car this week. The primary sponsor for the first time. A Japanese company that manufactures CNC machines, and they actually have partnered with RCR for RC's bunch to be their branch here in North America.
And this is one of those tracks that's not been good or kind or anything to Kevin. It's just, okay, we got to go to Pocono.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get it done with and then move on to the next race.
But you know, having said that, he's performed well here the last couple of years. He was top 5 both races last year, and let's face it, if someone has made a living running good at places where they have struggled in the past, this season it's been Kevin Harvick. He's going to have some ground to make up tomorrow. 15th is where he sits on the board with a number of cars yet to make their qualifying run. Regan Smith still the quickest in qualifying.
On the road of life, there are many paths. The secret is not being afraid to pave your own. Star Motorcycles, we build it. You make it your own.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Lewis.
Tony.
You need to have a go in my car. Oh, it's awesome. Be fun to get you in the stock car, too.
I've been dying to die.
Looks awful small from here.
I'll give you a hand. Is this the right way I'm doing it? Okay. You got insurance? I feel like I'm going to get hurt in this thing.
I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'll be in here the rest of the day if you need me, so.
Find out why more champions put their trust in the synthetic technology of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Many drivers, one oil, Mobil 1.
Hydration where you least expect it. From your razor. Schick Hydro. Water-activated gel hydrates your skin throughout each shave and lasts up to twice as long as ordinary strips, while 5 blades with skin guards smooth the skin to reduce irritation. Our best shave for your skin. Schick Hydro. Free your skin.
With an eye to the future, America's farmers bring us a renewable energy solution that will strengthen American business, as well as our nation's energy independence. American ethanol, from America's cornfields to America's racetracks. It's a brand new race day.
Sprint Cup Series qualifying rolling on from Pocono. Denny Hamlin, quickest in final practice yesterday, a 4-time winner here at the track. A.J. Allmendinger out making his run as we hear from Chris Neville.
Marcus Ambrose, big smiles when he got out of his car. High fives to the crew. Fantastic on the radio. You're obviously very happy with what happened.
Yeah, look, we had a tough day yesterday, and it's qualifying sessions like that. We picked up nearly 2 seconds out there. With all this shifting going on, you'd think we were running the Le Mans 24-hour or something, because this is very unlike Pocono. They've changed the rules to allow us to shift, and everyone's like, what do you do? Do you use third gear? Do you not? And I just went with my instincts, and the car was fantastic today, better than I could drive it, and just really proud of our efforts. It's going to be hopefully somewhere in the top 10, let this sun come out and slow the track down a little bit perhaps.
Well, right now he's still sitting second.
AJ got off into turn 1 a little hard, pushed up, and then when he snatched it and stood on the gas, it just fishtailed up off the corner. Yeah, so
one was not pretty.
Yeah, and perfect example of when you miss turn 1, it really slows down the tunnel turn, which in turn slows down 3, which in turn slows down the straightaway. That first corner on your qualifying lap, on your speed lap, is the most important corner.
The end result puts AJ 12th, 53.199 seconds. Kyle Busch on the pole here a year ago, Ralph.
Yeah, he sure was, and we were just chatting about shifting here, and you say you've decided not to shift on your qualifying run, huh? How come?
Yeah, I was a lot more consistent yesterday, and seems like if you just go after a steady lap, you'll be a lot better off than trying to shift and screw yourself up maybe.
All right, so he's going to focus more on his line, get his spots right, go for the time that way.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, because what he's basically saying is, I'm going to take an opportunity to make a mistake out of my lap. I just want to run a good, smooth lap. I don't want to downshift too early, downshift too late, whatever it may be, because I'm not comfortable with it yet. And that's his job. And he's the guy that has to make the call on that. Because as we were talking about balance earlier, if the driver's not comfortable, he's not going to go fast. And if he's comfortable just going out and busting off a lap, then that's what he's going to do.
Talked a moment ago about Kevin Harvick and his struggles at Pocono, but the last few years much improved. Matt Kenseth has never won here as he takes the green flag for his qualifying run. And the last 5 races here for Matt haven't produced a top 10 finish.
You see those guys, they go in, and you can almost see the lines there, Wally. They go in, and it's like where you think they should be turning, they're going up the racetrack, and you have to wait just that little bit. And when you have to wait just that little bit, it shows up on that tracker.
And he didn't really have the top speed going in there. Watching the top, the mile per hour, and he was maybe a couple miles per hour off. So, like I said, when he went and did all that, he was already 2 or 3 miles per hour slower than a lot of the other fast guys. So when you get back on the gas, you're already behind.
He shifted right there. You could hear that plane.
Probably wish he shifted and won.
Matt Kenseth, the 26th car to qualify today at Pocono. And 12th is where he is right now, 53.184 seconds. Between races, NASCAR Race Hub, the place to hang. Dig deeper into the sport as the hub brings fans into the trenches of NASCAR. It's where Wally and Kyle hang out, in the trenches, analyzing, discussing, previewing, and recapping all the action. It's all NASCAR all the time. NASCAR Race Hub. It happens Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's the best show on speed. It's better than that Speed Center show. Who does that?
I don't know.
Oh, Adam Alexander.
That was a shot.
That was a shot. What's his name?
Axel Salamander.
Axel Salamander does that show. I love the hub, though. I do love the hub.
That's good.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, the hub loves you.
The hub loves me.
That's just what I hear.
Yeah.
Casey Kane on track. There was a time when he loved Pocono. Back in 2008 would be one of those moments. Won from the pole here. In fact, the first time he ever came to the track. Yeah.
Yeah, and that, as we talked earlier, used to when you'd go out, you wouldn't run hard over the tunnel so you didn't wear your tires. It didn't put a lot of heat in there. But you really hammered this corner to come to the green hard, and that almost looks like what Casey was doing. He was just floating it into the tunnel. He let off way early. I thought he was off speed at that point.
Let's see what he gets up to going into turn 1.
He's going the wrong way.
93, 94, 95. Nah, he's pretty close to where everybody else was running. There's a couple 199s in there earlier.
Boy, the tracker looked good as he came off of one, didn't it? Pacing inside the top 5, and we'll see how he looks as he goes across the tunnel turn.
Pretty steady.
Yeah, pretty steady, pretty smooth right there. Yeah, I don't think he shifted. Didn't sound like he did. I mean, it sounded like he just carried his speed off in there, let it roll, and then picked back up the gas.
First time Casey came here.
I can't tell.
I can't either.
I can't tell. I'm an idiot.
Just when you said that, I went,
yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
We need to get the audio fixed for Kyle and Wally. They can't hear anymore. Casey Kane 6th on the board. Regan Smith continues to lead.
What do you remember about MIS? I've been going 20 years. Awesome place.
I remember going with my dad and camping all weekend.
You've got to experience it in person.
The year Junior won here.
Junior to the lead. Junior by 4 car lengths.
taking our kids for the first time.
I'm glad I finally went last year.
Celebrating.
Ready to tear the grandstands down here in Michigan.
Make a memory. Visit Michigan International Speedway.
Avena's Razor, CoverGirl Makeup, Olay Anti-Aging Cream, and rubber spatulas.
What's that for?
It helps me look younger.
Does it work?
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa's gonna be so happy when he wakes up. Yeah, he's gonna look like a baby.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything to keep you looking young. Backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
Dull yellow headlight.
Texas Hold'em is the hottest game on the planet, and we've got the best action outside of Vegas. Come to the all-new California Grand Casino and play today. It's your best bet in the Bay Area, off Highway 680 at Concord Avenue.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Looking for a big payday? The biggest cash jackpots are right here in your own backyard. Come to the all-new California Grand Casino and play today. It's your best bet in the Bay Area, off Highway 680 at Concord Avenue.
Qualifying continues for tomorrow's 5-hour Energy 500 from Pocono. Joey, the 28th driver to qualify today. 4 starts at this racetrack, and he is yet to net a top 10 qualifying run or a top 10 finish. Best opportunity for a good run for Joey a year ago when he was running inside the top 5 coming to the white, and I think we all remember what happened between he and Kevin Harvick. He ended up finishing 13th.
But we talked about this. This is a place that Joey just kind of settled into really quick. You know what I mean? He liked this place. I know he doesn't have a lot to show for it when you look at it, but I'll go back and look at some of the races that he's run up here, and he's done an incredible job at this racetrack. I thought he did a great job last year after he got hit going into turn 3. I thought he did an incredible job of saving the thing and keeping it off the outside wall.
Tracker has him outside the top 20 as he goes down that long pond straightaway. Talk about a team that would like to have something good happen. It would be Logano.
Yeah, he finished last year so strong in those last chase races. I mean, when you looked at it, it was like 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5.
You felt like now he's ready.
Yeah, he's ready. He's going to start this year. But you know, I don't look at and point fingers at Joey or at that team in particular. The whole Gibbs organization was kind of off when they hit Daytona. They just weren't up to what I think everybody expected that group to be.
Joey's qualifying run puts him 8th. The numbers: 53.091 seconds. That's more than 169 miles per hour, and perhaps lost a little time right here, Wally.
That's actually, that looks like a little, but that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Dale Jr. yet to go out in qualifying. Let's hear from him with Ralph.
Well, he just wore out a Sharpie taking care of all of his fans along the line over there, signing some autographs. We spent a lot of time talking about drivers finding their comfort zone in the car during qualifying. What do you look for?
I don't know. I just go out there and run around, see what happens. We ain't done good this year, but you know, we've been working on some things that seem to be helping a little bit. Hopefully, we can get a little bit better as we get closer and closer toward the last half of the season. But it's got a lot of, you know, it's real cool today. It's a lot faster than it was yesterday, and you just gotta hope you go out there and you get in the corner hard enough, because you're gonna have a lot more grip. Get in the corner hard enough, but not too hard.
All right, he's about ready to go. We're going to let him get in the car here. He's coming up real fast.
It sounds easy. I mean, everybody says that, but it's really not. It's like, well, I need to go in there pretty hard, but not too hard.
But not too hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's only like 10 feet.
I was getting ready to say that distance is the length of your dining room table. Overdriving and not driving far enough.
Yeah.
The fine line of success and failure. I'll tell you, a guy that's walked that line pretty tightly is The man you see on track, David Reagan, a runner-up a couple weeks ago at Charlotte. And here's another team that is starting to show some signs.
But, you know, earlier talking about Regan Smith, there he was. He starts qualifying in the top 3, top 4, knocking on that door, boom, he wins the race. David Reagan has done the same thing. He started qualifying better. He started finishing a little bit better. He's knocking on that door. He may be that guy that is right there ready to break through it.
And with a wild card situation the way it is as far as making the chase in 2011, a victory would likely mean a spot in the playoffs for this team.
I don't think so. Kyle and I were talking about that this morning. I think you're going to need 2.
Yeah, I do too.
I think 2 does it for sure.
2 does it for sure. 2 to be comfortable, because when you look at it, you know, when you look at those guys, you know, we've got, what, 3 or 4, 2 or 3 outside that are going to take that 11th and 12th place. You know, Jeff's.
If they're in the top 20 in points.
If they're in the top 20 in points, you know, and I think, you know, the 2 car of Brad Keselowski made a huge step. He's 21st. He's outside. But he's got 13 races to get in that space. Jeff Gordon only has 1. Jeff Gordon was within 20-some points of falling out of the top 20. So there's big swings in this point system. We see Mark Martin leaving pit road here. We were talking about saving your tires. He's not even trying to get up to speed at this point in time.
Sprint brings you an inside look at what is happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And if someone should know how to make a qualifying run here at Pocono, it's Mark Martin, because you know what? He's the active pole leader 3 times. He has led him to the green here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile. You can do so at sprint.com/speed.
He knows how to finish second here.
I'm telling you.
I don't think anybody's had more second-place finishes at a racetrack anywhere.
I think Bobby Allison and Mark Martin tied in that category. Allison doing it at Martinsville.
Okay. I knew you would come up with the answer.
Well,
crazy.
you know what? Yeah. I did my homework this week.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Russell. Now that is not nice. You know what's even more impressive to me than the 6 runner-up finishes for Mark Martin? He's raced here in 48 races. I mean, that is a bunch of trips to Long Pond, Pennsylvania right there.
About 48 too
Kyle
many.
was just dreaming of the race of that place.
Do you know what I just said?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm kidding, man.
No, you're not.
But okay, so he's been here 48 times. How many second place finishes does he have?
6.
6 times. Yep.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
19 top 5 finishes and 33 top 10s.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Fourth.
good lap.
52.87 for Mark Martin. Kyle Busch won the pole here a year ago. He'll be on track when we continue from Pocono.
Kyle Busch! Let's do this! Let's do this! That's how you do a donut.
Conference room.
Okay. What would you do with your favorite driver? Enter your design at toyotaracing.com.
Hey, sport. Still at the office. It's almost the weekend. Don't have to go far, spend much to have fun. I've got hotels everywhere. Go snowshoeing or lobster diving. Pow! Pow-pow! I make it easy. You make it fun. Pow! Like free stuff? Use Wyndham Rewards points for free nights and other goodies. I'm flexing the power of pow.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk.
He's good.
Juicy Johnsonville sausage, made with only premium cuts of pork since 1945. Johnsonville, sausage is all we do.
Green flag.
Got it.
Don't be the last to know. Get it faster with 4G. It's the network of possibilities. AT&T.
14 cars still to qualify at Pocono. The 31st on track, Kyle Busch. Got his first Pocono pole here a year ago. Finished in the runner-up position. Both career bests at this racetrack. And for Kyle, a pair of victories in 2011. Swept the weekend at Bristol, winning in the NNS Series and going on to win the Cup race on Sunday afternoon. Also won that Saturday night race at Richmond back in the early part of May. And last week he finished third at Kansas. That is best qualifying run of the year.
Well, that didn't look very good.
No, not at all. But you talk about Kansas last week. Kansas has not been a place that's been good to Kyle Busch. I think his best finish there is 7th. Show me another racetrack where Kyle Busch's best finish is a 7th place. I mean, he just dominates when he goes to most racetracks. And last week he didn't have a good run. He run decent at different times, but they've not been able to figure out that racetrack.
Which is surprising because he's a driver at most mile-and-a-half tracks that you put a star by his name saying he should be good. We'll see how he qualifies here at Pocono, and he's not going to be happy with this result.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
An apology from Kyle Busch. 53.289 seconds puts him 22nd of the 31 cars that have taken time, Ralph.
Yeah, we're down here with Denny Hamlin, who's keeping an eye on things over here. All right. Just talking things over with his crew chief. You got to have the drink there ready to go. PR guy wants that. Okay, so you've seen all the numbers. You saw the lap. Kyle said he wasn't going to shift. He didn't. What do you think now based on what you saw?
I'm not going to tell you, but, you know, I've got it made up in my mind what I'm going to do. But, yeah, it's just tough to say. I think you had some of these really lightning fast cars go really early, you'd see a heck of a time. But I think the track is slowing down a little bit. You know, anytime that the track is fully gray, it's going to be faster. As rubber gets laid down, this track will lose a little bit of speed. So even though the conditions stay the same, you still have rubber put down, and that makes the tires have a little bit less grip. So I know what I'm going to do. It's just a matter of executing it.
All right, he's going to keep his cards in his coat close to his chest, and we're just going to have to watch the lap, I guess, Adam.
And as Denny prepares to make his qualifying run, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is taken to the track.
Wow, he downshifted early. He downshifted going into the corner.
That's old school. That's old school. That's the way you used to downshift when you would get to about that point. You go down by the 4, 3, 2, boom, downshift and going down.
And the problem, and I think, Kyle, the problem with that is it does slow the car down too much getting into the corner.
And it does affect the balance.
Yeah.
That will, because it just pitches it on the front.
Yeah.
Dale Jr. outside the top 10 in both practice sessions yesterday, but he did look good in final practice when it came to 10-lap average.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people in the garage felt like this was a pretty good race car in final practice.
Hey, made a lot of ground up in 3.
11th is where Jr. goes.
Good run.
53-11.
Compared to where he was coming out of turn 1 to where he ended up coming out of turn 3, that's a great job.
Pretty nasty feeling.
What'd he say? He just kind of giggled a little bit.
I thought he said pretty nasty feeling.
Yeah.
That was my interpretation. Let's hear from his teammate, Marty.
And Jeff Gordon getting ready to climb in the race car. I just watched his teammate go, and he was watching that on the sprint fan view. What did you learn from watching that lap of Junior's?
It looked like a pretty clean lap. I didn't really get to see what his lap time was, but, you know, just trying to see anything we can, you know, the line and what the grip level's like. Obviously, it's really fast, and seeing a few little drops here, too, on my windshield. So, you know, this is always an exciting, interesting qualifying session, and because the pace picks up so much from yesterday. And so you're really trying to figure out what the grip level is and how hard to push it. Hopefully I'll learn something through this first couple corners with our DuPont Chevrolet. Car's good, just hopefully we got the balance right for this kind of speed.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part down here, guys. We are seeing a couple of raindrops. That's a little unnerving, isn't it, Kyle and Wally, going down in turn 1 with a few raindrops on your windshield?
Especially when you're getting in the car. You know, when you're out there on the racetrack, you get a really good sense really fast if the track is good or not. But when you're sitting there waiting to go and you've got raindrops on your windshield, that's way too much time to think about it.
Yeah, and that, you know, this is such a big place. How many times have we been here? We're sitting on the front stretch. We're watching the 31 car here, getting ready to go over the tunnel turn. It could be pouring over there, and the sun's out over here.
Like,
you know,
Wilkes-Barre's
seen that
right
many
there
times.
behind turn two.
Yeah, exactly. But you see it so many times up here that as a driver, when you leave, you don't know until you make that first lap what the whole racetrack's like.
Jeff Burton made his first start here at Pocono back in 1994. Finished 4th in the fall race and has not topped that since. A pair of front row starts. And as he takes the white flag today, his qualifying lap puts him 23rd, 53.276 seconds.
Right with his teammate, right with Harvick.
Stay informed with the latest NASCAR updates right from the track. Find video highlights, expert analysis, driver blogs, and photo galleries. Get more at speed.com in the NASCAR section. Ralph?
Down here with Brad Keselowski, who's listening in on the radio and gathering up all the information he possibly can. Okay. I can tell you're being inundated with information right now. What's the one piece you've heard that's going to make you make the big decision on how you're going to run your qualifying lap?
Probably whatever Kurt has to say, but he goes after me. So, you know, Kurt's got a lot of experience here, qualifies really well. And we'll see. You know, I feel like the Blue Deuce has had a lot of speed over the last few weeks, and hopefully we can make something out of it here. But a lot of changing track conditions. You can feel the water in the air, and you know that's going to rob some horsepower. But you also know the cool track temps, a lot of speed in the corners. So, you know, it's really, really hard to guess in qualifying, and that's really what this is a big guessing game. So you have to commit to a grip level and try and make it work. So ought to be interesting, but, you know, my team's done a really good job lately keeping up, and ready to go.
And you know, guys, just standing here talking with Brad, it feels like the wind has picked up a little bit, too, maybe a couple miles an hour.
Greg Biffle started 12th here last August, went on to his first Pocono victory, the most recent winner at this track. In a first of 11 cars that remain in the qualifying session, the quickest 11 in the opening practice yesterday. Big bobble there.
Yeah, just when he got on the gas, the car got away from him a little bit, and boy, he lost a lot of time right there.
But we saw him yesterday in the practice sessions. I mean, he was up on the wheel struggling with this thing. He was sideways and backwards about 90% of the time.
He was working way too hard for the results. And the result shows 27th for Biffle.
And that's the thing we talked about yesterday, the tunnel turning. You got to hit it perfect. If you just get off a little bit out of line here, watch Greg again. And this is just about where he was picking the throttle up. Car gets loose, he's got to save it twice, 3 times.
10 cars to go in qualifying, and they're hoping for a result better than this. Could we have a pole run coming up? Stay with us on Speed.
24 hours of Le Mans. It's the fastest 24 hours in the world.
Damage! 1, 2, and 3. A whitewash at LaSalle.
Continues today, live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Extended coverage on speed.com.
Look outside. It's grow time. So let's plant some perennials that'll turn up every year. Trees and shrubs to give us depth, and fill it out with flowers placed in just the perfect place. Let's start at the place with the best plants, people, and prices. What do you say we plant a weekend, water it, and watch a summer spring up? More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We're lowering the cost of a day in the dirt with a special buy on this mulch. 3 bags are just $10.
Oh, he looks nice. Yeah.
I'm Jim from Fremont, and this is my power. We thought the smart meter was just a way to read our meters, but the hourly usage profile from the smart meter lets us figure out what it is that we're doing that's having the biggest impact. We use that information to change the way we go about using our energy. Things like cooking dinner, rather than firing up 2 ovens at different temperatures, let's throw in some cookies at the same time. We're accomplishing the same things, but we're using less energy.
Learn more about smart meter and plan options like Smart Rate at pge.com/smartmeter.
So at our company, we pay about the same, even though I'm a great driver and he's not so much.
Well, for a driver like you, I would recommend our new Snapshot discount. This little baby keeps track of your great driving habits so you can save money.
Amazing.
It's like an extra bonus savings.
He's my ride home.
How much can the Snapshot discount save you? Call or click today.
Racing resume at Pocono. Pull up the stats on Denny Hamlin. His rookie season in 2006, he won both poles here and won both races. On a bit of a dry spell until the fall race in 2009 when he won. Won again here in the first race last season and was 5th here in the fall. So he is a driver that no doubt knows how to get it done when it comes to Pocono. He was 10th quick in first practice yesterday and fastest in final practice, and got a pretty solid qualifying run.
And he
going
got
right
through
here.
turn 2 right there. That was about the best I've seen anybody get through turn. When he went back to the throttle, he matted it and it stuck.
Yeah, and it sounded good. And I mean, it was like he was out of it early, back in it quick, and just drove it straight across there. That was nice.
He wouldn't tell Ralph Shaheen what he was going to do as far as managing his qualifying lap, but whatever he did, it worked. New leader in qualifying, Denny Hamlin to the top of the board at 52.578 seconds.
Yeah, that's impressive. But I got to get his car looked really good. And, you know, it's like we were talking about Joey Logano. Some racetracks just match a driver, and whatever combination they had, Denny just picked up on this place. He and Mike Ford, their engine combination, their car combination. But just looking at Denny, I guess I haven't been paying attention. Denny's on the pole, but there's Regan Smith, whose time has stood up through 35 cars, which is absolutely amazing, because I don't think Regan, when we interviewed him, said, hey, that's not going to stand up very long, but it's a good lap.
Sprint brings you an inside look at what is happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Most laps led all time here at Pocono. How about this guy, Jeff Gordon, a 4-time winner himself. He's led 918 laps here at the Tricky Triangle. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, you can check it all out at NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile. It's at sprint.com/speed. So now we get down to it. Denny Hamlin, 10th quick in practice yesterday, goes to the top of the charts in qualifying. Jeff Gordon 9th quick, and we will see what kind of a pickup he can make as he goes after the pole himself. Gordon on the clock. Talk about his 4 victories. He also has a pair of poles here at Pocono.
He's got some straightaway speed in that thing. Got on the throttle real early. Car looks really good. He was fast getting into 1.
He also has one of the ugliest wrecks I've ever seen at this place. He broke a rotor, ran out of brakes, and shot down across the flat and up into the outside wall. That was a wicked hit. He looks good across the tunnel. Really, the cars they keep that attitude. They don't bounce a lot. They just get in there, settle, go to the gas, and drive.
But he did lose a little time to Denny in there. He didn't get on the gas, you know, hard enough and fast enough. He didn't lose much time, but a little bit there. But he made it up in turn 3.
And the tracker looks good. Jeff Gordon delivers back-to-back to the top of the board. Jeff Gordon, 52.524 seconds. He is now fastest.
Yeah, P1. You gotta be kidding me. You're just that good.
Now Denny Hamlin drop kick to 2nd, Chris.
Well, Denny Hamlin's so strong at Pocono, but Denny, when you took your helmet off, you didn't have a smile on your face and you kind of shook your head. Did you leave a little something out on the track?
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, proud of our whole effort. We've had an awesome car all weekend, so excited about our chances. I feel like we had a great race car and race trim. Qualifying trim, we were a little off yesterday, so it was a good run for us. It was a good, stable run. Wish I could do it all over again. I've learned a few things.
Nice run.
If Denny Hamlin's learned a few things about Pocono, the competition may be in trouble tomorrow. Juan Montoya was 8th on the speed charts yesterday in practice. See what he can do. Denny Hamlin and Jeff Gordon both in the top 10 yesterday in practice as well, and each picking up enough speed to put themselves on the provisional pole. And now Montoya going to try and become the 3rd in a row to do that. Top 10 finishes for JPM in 3 of the last 4 races here in Long Pond.
Another one that downshifted getting into the corner and went from like 5th to 20th in turn 1.
Yeah.
Because he's downshifted too early.
Yeah, and it just
kills your
upsets
momentum.
the car, kills the momentum, does everything all at one time.
And you spend the last 70% of your qualifying run trying to make up the ground you lost in the first 30%.
You're not going to make up that much ground.
The guys we were watching yesterday with the in-car camera stuff, they would shift right at the point as they would go to the gas, they would go to third gear. They would go downshift so that it was like perfect timing to just like an automatic transmission. Yeah, just like an automatic transmission. It was time to go.
Top 10 run for Montoya, 53.034 seconds. And I would guess when you look at the cars yet to make a qualifying run, Montoya will not stay in the top 10. Brad Keselowski, last week's pole sitter, or the pole sitter from a couple of weeks ago, I should say, will be next. First, we check in with Ralph Shaheen.
Well, we're here with Tony Stewart, who's getting pushed up to his spot, ready to go. All right, you've started number 1 here 4 times. Is the car good enough to get it done today, you think?
I don't know. We were pretty good yesterday. You know, it's kind of just knowing how much you can get here in this qualifying run, but this Mobile One Office Depot Chevy's been pretty solid all weekend, so we'll see what we got.
All right, he'll get elbows up, and we go to Chris Neville.
Well, Jeff Gordon didn't let Denny Hamlin savor the moment for very long. Jeff, we heard you on the radio. You sounded surprised that you got a pole there, or you're sitting in the top spot right now. Why so surprised?
It was just too smooth, you know. I mean, when you look at the amount of speed that you got to pick up from practice, you know you're going to be pushing it on the edge and being real aggressive, and the track's got a lot of grip in it. But I just didn't think I pushed it hard enough, to be honest. I kind of missed the bottom in 1. I felt like I got through the tunnel good. I felt like I got through 3 good, but I didn't feel like I got through anywhere great. So it was a nice complete lap, and I guess that's what I swear right now I'm still saying that they need to recheck the timer. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was that fast, but because that's fast around here, especially from what we were running yesterday in practice. Couldn't be more proud of the guys in this DuPont Chevrolet. Made great adjustments. The car definitely was well balanced, and I'm really excited about that lap, definitely.
Thanks, Jeff.
Well, we saw 200.
Yeah, but we saw 200, and you get in the corner too hot, and then you see the short chute. Yeah. It went all the wrong way down the short chute.
If you knew you were going to get 200, about 100, 200 feet, you wouldn't go in that deep.
You wouldn't go in that far. That's right. You wouldn't go in. And the guys we've seen run, like Jeff and Denny, they've backed the corner up almost. We saw Denny, which looked like Denny backed the tunnel up a long ways, because he jumped off and jumped right back into it.
Brad Keselowski won last week at Kansas, 14th in his qualifying run here at Pocono. Ryan Newman on track after a break.
NASCAR Race Day powers into Pocono. Denny Hamlin joins us live. Plus, we'll break down the Busch-Childress fight and discuss what might have led to the blow-up. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at 10 Eastern, live on Speed.
Welcome back to Geico Radio. It's savings on the radio.
Call us, Steve. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just got a free rate quote on Geico.com. Saved a ton, and it only took me 5 minutes and 12 seconds. I was wondering, is that some sort of record?
That's a good question. Let's have a look.
Not quite. Someone's got you beat by 8 seconds.
Still, I mean, that's quite fast.
Well, what if I told you I only use one hand?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extends the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
The Unprepared Man's Guide to Camping. The tent is an essential camping tool. For the unprepared man, however, there is another way. First, create a bedding of sticks and foliage and a stable tree. Erect a domed covering with branches and mud. Drape a jacket or sport coat over the opening. It's that simple.
Don't be that guy. Come into Gander Mountain and get everything for your next outdoor adventure. Gander Mountain, we live outdoors.
Hey, Kurt, it's Kyle. Hey, you got a minute?
Not really. Kind of busy.
You have got to check out the new NASCAR.com race view. I mean, these new virtual graphics make my car look almost real. Did you know fans can customize this to follow me all race long and listen to my in-car audio? And now my fans can even watch you try to keep up with me in the new head-to-head view. I mean, how cool is that?
Check out the brand new and dramatically improved race view, only at NASCAR.com.
Kurt, hey, Kurt.
NASCAR and the American farmer are working together to bring us American ethanol, the right choice for the future of our sport, our country, and our planet. It's a brand new race day.
Ryan Newman, the 39th driver to take speed in qualifying for tomorrow's 5-hour Energy 500 from Pocono. Two-time pole winner, and one of those poles resulted in a race win, that happening in 2003. And Ryan Newman, remember early in his career when it seemed like every week he was the guy to beat in pole qualifying? 36 races without a pole, the last coming May a year ago at Charlotte for the Coke 600.
Didn't look bad coming up off the corner there. You know what I mean? Once it rotated through the center, he kind of held his line. It didn't go up or down the racetrack.
Both Ryan Newman and teammate Tony Stewart have won here. Both were in the top 10 in practice yesterday. And Matt Borland has been named the Vice President of Competition at Stewart-Haas Racing, replacing Bobby Hutchins, who was released this week.
Got through the tunnel. Very good. Looks like he's got a good run going here if he can get through 3.
And Matt and obviously Ryan worked together at the Penske organization for so many years.
Yeah.
Had so many poles together, so many wins together.
Good qualifying run for Newman today. 5th at 52.77. And that leaves us now with 5 drivers remaining in qualifying here at Pocono. We had Brad Keselowski a moment ago. He won the pole a couple of weeks ago at the Coca-Cola 600. And the next guy to go on track, his teammate who sat on the pole last week at Kansas. Back-to-back poles for Team Penske. And this is Kurt Busch, who was top 10 in both practice sessions. However, we should point out early in final practice yesterday evening, he spun it coming off of the tunnel turn, destroyed his primary car. He is in a backup, but did get some laps in practice. In fact, 10 circuits in this backup car. We'll see what he's able to turn in qualifying.
First guy I've seen leave pit road and weave and put a little heat in their tires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, just weave down the backside. And you heard him. But you know, from the time they leave pit road to the time they get over there is almost a mile by the time they get to the tunnel turn. So, I mean, obviously he didn't want to, he's not using his tires yet.
Following Kurt Busch, we'll have 4 remaining. Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Paul Menard, and Carl Edwards, those that will remain, and they were the 4 quickest in the opening practice yesterday. Kurt Busch never a pole here for front row starts. He does have a couple of victories at Pocono.
The car looks really, that's probably the best I've seen a car go through turn 1.
And he didn't run 200 down in there. He eased up, but you heard him go to the gas really quick.
That splitter, you watch that splitter, and if that splitter doesn't move going over those bumps, then they're doing something right. That thing was solid.
The man on your left, responsible for that, Steve Addington, the crew chief for Kurt Busch.
And this is the backup.
Yeah, a backup that they only got about 30 minutes of practice in at the end of practice because they really focused on getting the thing put back together and down on the racetrack.
How impressive would this be? Backup car, no problem. Send Kurt Busch to the top of the speed charts.
52.45, dude. You're awesome. Use the access road. We'll talk about it when we get here. Okay.
I'm not sure there's much to talk about. That was an impressive qualifying run. We got the fastest from practice on track in qualifying when we come back.
24 hours of Le Mans. It's the fastest 24 hours in the world.
Damage! 1, 2, and 3. A whitewash at LaSalle.
Continues today, live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Extended coverage on speed.com.
Right now, get a free soft drink when you buy a Whopper. Only at Burger King.
Check out all the great Father's Day gift ideas at Bass Pro Shops and BassPro.com, like Worldwide Sportsman Angler shirts for only $14.94 and the Strike King Kevin Van Dam Crankbait Kit for under $50. Plus, don't miss Family Summer Camp.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out. The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk. He's good.
Dull yellow headlight.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
How do I deal with joint pain? I use the power of nature.
Introducing Icy Hot Naturals with natural menthol that gets icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away fast, plus 4 essential oils for a fresh scent. New Icy Hot Naturals, powerful pain relief.
Powered by nature.
It's his time of the year, June, July, and August. This guy always seems to deliver, and we'll see if he can get another Pocono pole today. 4 times he started out front.
And he has always been this way since he come to this series. It's like, okay, just get me through the first 10 or 12 races and get me to the summertime heat, and then I'll do something. And he carries that momentum. Whatever he builds in June and July seems to carry for whatever the rest of the year is, if you look back at the history of him.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
That's really going to hurt his get-to-go lap right there.
A double left and right coming to the green is not good.
Tony Stewart goes on the clock, and Tuesday night, F1 World Champion Lewis Hamilton and the aforementioned 2-time champ Tony Stewart will swap rides at Watkins Glen International Raceway. See what happens when 2 of the world's greatest drivers are put to the test. Don't miss the seat swap. It happens Tuesday evening. You can watch it exclusively on Speed at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, and you know what? Listen, Tony was on trackside on Speed out at Kansas, and he's excited about jumping in that Formula One car. I mean, he talked about all the different kind of race cars he had driven to get an opportunity to finally check that one off the list, just to be able to do an exhibition thing in it. He was excited about it.
He'll still be smiling next week when we get to Kansas. Darian Grubb, the crew chief for Tony Stewart. Looks like that 14 car, he's not going to stay in the top 10.
Hey, it's almost the same exact spot in turn 3 that he had a little bit of a problem.
Coming to the green. It's like it rotates too quick and he has to catch up with it.
Yeah.
12 for the 2-time winner at Pocono, Tony Stewart. Ralph?
Carl Edwards is all strapped in. All right, you've had time to digest everything today. What's your plan?
Looks like rain's coming. Looks like rain's coming. Now we're going to have to run this lap, and our car was fast yesterday, and we really thought we were smart. Boy, we thought we were going to get them on the qualifying stuff, but it looks like this cloud cover stayed, and if this Kellogg's Fusion's fast enough, I think we'll, it'll still be able to run the pole right now. So now it's up to me, and I hope we can do it.
I don't know about smart, but you're still funny. Let's go right to the garage.
And last week's winner, Brad Keselowski. A lot of concern on the radio, and when you got out of the car, looking under the hood, issues with the throttle linkage area.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's definitely stuck in the car, so whether it got a rock in or something, I don't know, but it's pretty hairy entering turn 1 here, and then you add a downshift and it's even hairier, and then you add the throttle stick in and it's really, really hairy, and just felt lucky to not bring one back on the hook, but it's a shame because I think this car was fast enough to run a really, really good lap, and maybe not a pole lap, but certainly a top 5 or top 10 lap, and looks like we're going to end up like 17th or 18th, so all in all, a good effort. I don't think everybody did anything wrong. I think it just got a piece of rubber or rock in it or something, so something we'll have to work on moving forward.
Thanks, Brad. Thank you.
That kind of explains the 200 mile per hour top speed going into turn 1.
We just thought he wasn't letting off. He was trying to let off, it just wouldn't let him.
And I think the comment for Brad when he finished his qualifying lap, I'm just glad I'm bringing this one back.
And that's what he meant. At first when he said it, I thought he meant that the car drove so bad that he's just lucky to get it back to the garage area. But basically what he's saying was we had an issue, and really he's right. Man, you barrel off in that corner at that speed, having the downshift and the throttle hangs, yeah, you can't juggle that much at the same time. He did a good job.
5-time champion Jimmie Johnson, a 2-time winner at Pocono. 3rd quick in practice yesterday, but he's going to struggle to put it in the top 10 in qualifying. In fact, he will not. Jimmie Johnson, 12th at 52.98.
He and Tony Stewart right together the last couple of cars to go. Right together. And, it's like we said, they had that last practice yesterday. So just because the qualifying order is set during first practice, guys do get better during the second practice, and guys do get worse during the second practice. And especially if you find something for a race condition. When you find something, you say, man, my car's really good here. I hate to change it back to qualifying and then have to come back. I'd rather just stay here and suffer through it. Yeah. And sometimes that's what teams do.
Paul Menard, surprisingly quick in practice yesterday.
I don't think it was surprising.
Well, maybe not surprising.
I mean, he's been running good all year long, and it wasn't. Watched him a lot yesterday in practice, and it wasn't just one lap. He's been fast for 5 laps, for 10 laps, for 15 laps. I tell you what, he could have a good run here tomorrow.
Yeah, earlier you were talking about Junior being 2nd or 3rd fastest in the 5-lap and 10-lap category. This guy was in the top 5 in both those categories in the 5-lap and 10-lap.
So Paul Menard takes the green flag, and I guess, Wally, my comment on surprisingly fast, referring a little bit to Paul Menard's resume here at Pocono. 8 starts, still looking for a top 15 finish. And I think the 2nd or 3rd driver today that we've seen hit 200 miles per hour down into that first corner.
And that thing rotated pretty good, and he got back on the gas and drove it up off the corner. I mean, his car looked good through there.
Great start to the season for Menard. Bit of a backslide the last few weeks. They need something to get him going once again, and he's another driver on the short list of those you would think are in line for their first career victory.
So far, if he gets it to 2-3 here, he'll have a top 5 starting position here tomorrow.
He might have a
even better than that.
Really good one.
Paul Menard, good in practice, backs it up in qualifying, put him to position number 2 at 52.50.
Good run.
Yep. Isn't it good to see someone who isn't used to delivering week in and week out go out good in practice, good in qualifying?
You mean somebody new?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see somebody new. And Paul's been doing it. I mean, he started off the year, ran into a little slump for 4 or 5 races there where he just didn't back it up and fell out of the top 10. But, I mean, he started strong this year.
In theory, Carl Edwards goes out and wins the pole here.
In theory.
We went slowest to fastest in this qualifying session based on how everyone practiced yesterday, and Carl Edwards was really good in that opening session, and we'll see what he's got for him, the last car to go out in qualifying at Pocono.
In theory, if Kurt Busch sets on the pole again this week, he will officially be the king of the sandbaggers. Okay, after last week at Kansas,
very good
because
point.
Everybody thought he just sandbagged them last week at Kansas. That was the big run. Oh my God, they just run slow in practice so they could do this or do that.
And both weeks after he had problems in final practice. Last week cut a tire and spun, kept the primary car. This week he would have done it after crashing his primary and going to a backup.
I love NASCAR fans. The conspiracy theories run rapid. As soon as they drop the checkered flag, there's 10 theories on what happened.
Carl Edwards, not great getting into 1.
Good right there, though. He's below that line, which means his car drove pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, still, he was 197, which is, it's pretty respectable getting down in there.
But watching this, if you watch the Fords, none of them had great straightaway speed down the front stretch. Right. But where they seemed to gain back whatever they lost down the front stretch was across the tunnel turn, 2-3, and down these short chutes. Like we talked yesterday, where's their power band? Where's their power curve? Are these engines more torquey than horsepower?
Carl Edwards.
He is just flirting with that pole right now, and nope, just dumped it in 3.
Yeah, he was there.
So much for theory.
He went from first to sixth through turn 3. Carl Edwards will start in the 6th position tomorrow. 52.61 his lap. And why is Kurt Busch smiling? Because for the 2nd week in a row, he has won the pole. Chris, he must be happy.
Well, I'm talking about turning around a weekend. Yesterday, you crashed the car. In the 2nd practice, you guys pulled the backup car. No real time on that car, but you had faith in it.
I did, and it's just a testament to the guys building these cars to have a backup car capable of winning the pole. Just shows the quality that we have at Penske Racing, and to get it 2 weeks in a row, this is exciting. And I didn't know about the emotions today. If it was raining, we'd have to start last. So we went out there, and my thought was, hey, let's just see where the car ends up. I drove it conservatively. Sometimes that helps you when you know the track is fast.
Driving a car that's a backup car, not a lot of time on it, going into turn 1, how nervous are you to push it?
I'm very nervous, but I know my guys, and I'm never going to give up on them. Right now, it's a good high right now for the 22 Shell Pennzoil team.
Congrats.
Thanks.
The last time Team Penske won 3 consecutive poles, 2007. Ryan Newman had all those. Your front row tomorrow, Kurt Busch. Career pole 14, and Paul Menard. Solid all weekend long, starting on the front row for the 3rd time in his career. We'll look at the full field lineup for tomorrow's 5-hour energy. After a break, you're watching Speed, the Motorsports Authority.
We believe everyone should get low prices every day. Every day.
On everything. On everything. And if you happen to find something lower,
we'll match it. We'll match it.
We'll match it. Any ad, any price.
Right at the register.
Get low prices every day on everything, backed by our ad match guarantee. Like a 6-pack of Johnsonville bratwurst patties, now just $6.98. Only at Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Lewis.
Tony.
You need to have a go in my car. Oh, it's awesome. Be fun to get you in the stock car, too.
I've been dying to.
Looks awful small from here.
I'll give you a hand. Is this the right way I'm doing it?
Okay.
You got insurance? I feel like I'm going to get hurt in this thing.
I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'll be in here the rest of the day if you need me, sir.
Find out why more champions put their trust in the synthetic technology of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Many drivers, one oil, Mobil 1.
If you're looking for a pickup truck, check out the miles per gallon, the length of the powertrain warranty, and the horsepower. Only Ram delivers this kind of muscle. That'll thin out the herd real quick. Guts, glory, Ram.
Juicy Johnsonville sausage, made with only premium cuts of pork since 1945. Johnsonville, sausage is all we do.
Following your passion always puts you right where you're supposed to be. NASCAR Home Tracks, where what happens on the track is just part of the story.
Tuesday, the 2012 Hall of Fame class is revealed as the legends who paved the way for NASCAR's success welcome 5 new members to the home of racing glory.
What a wonderful day for this sport.
Witness history in the making as we celebrate a career-defining moment. The next chapter in NASCAR's legacy will be written as the 2012 Hall of Fame class is unveiled. Tuesday at 4 Eastern, only on Speed.
Copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Sprint Cup qualifying from the Pocono Raceway is complete. Kurt Busch winning the pole for tomorrow's 5-hour Energy 500 and qualifying just in front of Paul Menard, Ralph.
Yeah, and it's the best qualifying effort for Paul Menard this year. A fine second-place effort. Okay, you get a great starting spot. Now let's already start thinking about the race. How good is this car for the race?
Car's good. You know, we anticipated rain today, so we did a mock run early, try to
anticipate rain and try to start up front. I was hoping for rain, honestly, but to start second in the race after qualifying, it's a lot more meaningful, and the guys have just done a great job with the car all weekend. Long runs, we did a couple 10-lap runs yesterday. Happy with the car. We need to work on a couple little things, but the fall off's really nice. It doesn't fall off as much as we see a lot of cars do, so looking forward to the race.
Yeah, and they got a lot of momentum building towards tomorrow right now.
Good on Friday, good on Saturday. We'll see what Menard has on Sunday afternoon. Starting on the outside of row 1. Couple of 4-time winners in row 2. Point leader Carl Edwards goes 6th, and Marcus Ambrose, the second Ford in the top 8, qualifying 7th. Mr. Second Place, Mark Martin, starts 10th tomorrow. Jimmy Johnson, not as good in qualifying today as he was in practice yesterday, starts 14th. There you see last week's winner, Brad Keselowski, starts 20th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the inside of row 11 in 21st. Sam Hornish Jr. making his first start of the year in the Sprint Cup Series goes 26th. Martin Truex Jr., a new crew chief, goes in the 31st position. Kyle Busch won the pole here a year ago. 34th is where he will roll tomorrow. You saw Greg Biffle deep in the field. He won the last time we were here. TJ Bell, the final to make it into the field. Matt Yoakum.
Well, I'm not going to remind him that last week at Kansas he was also in the green until 3 and 4. But great run, great run.
Thanks a lot. It was an okay run, but I was just telling Bob and them that's the fastest our car had been through 3 and 4. And I knew that we got through 1 and 2 really well. The tunnel was a little shaky. Got a little loose off of there. And all I could think was, man, this is a screaming lap. Don't overdrive 3. And I drove in there a little bit soft, and this thing stuck. I mean, it had so much grip that I knew right then I gave something up. I tried to get it into 3rd gear and get on the gas as early as I could, but that car, that's a pole-winning car right there. I just needed to drive a pole-winning 3 and 4. But I'm excited about the race. It's nice to be disappointed about a 6th-place qualifying position, and I think it's going to be a really good run for us.
Keep an eye on that 99 car tomorrow. Lindsay?
Thank you, Matt. A lot of surprises out there today, but Larry Mack, after what you saw this afternoon, also from yesterday, who are you really worried about tomorrow?
Well, I go back to what I said at the top of the show. Of our 66 Pocono races, 47 have been won from a top 10 starting spot. And when I look at our top 10, it's interesting. 7 of those top 10, including Denny Hamlin, looking for their first win of 2011. And oh, by the way, a story we've been following all year long, 2 of those top 10 looking for their first career win, Paul Menard as well as Marcus Ambrose. So it could be a day of comers and goers, and probably will be, but I think our winner will come from the top 10.
I think Hamlin saying that he learned something, that might be a little bit scary for other drivers. Guys?
And if the winner tomorrow comes from the top 10, it would be the first time that's happened in the last 6 weeks. The last 5 winners in Sprint Cup competition have started 20th or worse. So Kurt Busch delivers today. It's the 3rd straight pole for Penske, the 2nd in a row for him. Race 14 on the season is tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. For our entire Speed crew, I'm Adam Alexander. Now to Chris Devoda.